Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this session. We are here today to dive deep into starting our business. And when you go into starting your business, one thing that you need to put in mind is how do I manage my cost? And before getting to how do I manage my cost or how do I calculate my cost, I need to be able to identify them. So this session of today will be talking about the cost. What are costs for a running business? And the objectives of this session is each participant, as you are seated here before we close the session, you should be able to identify the different types of cost in a running business. Here we go. When you look at your business, being an entrepreneur, now in your running activities, I will take you through an activity now, which objective is to identify the different costs that you have in your business. So you will work in group, it's a group discussion. I will suggest that you take a post-it, you write one type of cost that you may know per post-it. Everybody, one cost that you can identify in your business per post-it, and after you discuss in group and put your ideas together, and we'll be able to share thereafter. So I'll give you 5 minutes to do the activity. Don't forget that you're an entrepreneur and you have your business running. What do you consider as cost? Okay, can you now, you have the 2 minutes over, can you now discuss and see if you can share ideas? Those who like to be translated, have their own translated. Your group is what? How can you call your group? Group A, okay. Group A? Wakanda. Okay. Wakanda says, okay. Can you please? Okay, can I take them down, please? Mm-hmm. Data and airtime, okay, you consider them as what? So can I put electricity, water, telephone, internet? Okay. Okay. Continue.
Transport and logistic costs.
That's all. Okay. The next group is, who is the next group? What's the name of your group? Zuma. Can we? That has to promotion, yes. Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Salaries. Okay. That's what they call raw material here. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What else? Okay. Does your business pay taxes? Okay. Okay. Taxes. And what else? Equipments. Good. That's under Wakanda. Okay. Okay, wonderful. This is a great job. Well done. Now, I'll suggest another activity. Looking at all these costs that we came out with, let us group them into categories. Because there are some costs, whatever you do, they will not change. What we call what? Fixed costs. Great. And some other costs who are linked to the running of the business. So can we now try and see how to identify? I'll give you some names of some costs that okay. Taking into consideration the fact that, as we said, fixed costs are the costs linked to that will not change. That the costs that will not change, no matter the business speed or the turnover. Now with the variable cost, we tend to they tend to multiply when the business also grow. So now I'll ask you to go into this list and tell us what can be categorized as a variable cost and what can be set as a fixed cost. Can you do that? Okay, great. Good. Training. Where do we put training? Sorry? Variable cost. We started with a tricky one. If we define a variable cost like cost linked to the business, to the running of the business, to the production, is training linked to production? How? Suppose you are producing juice. So the cost the cost of your training increase when the quantity of the juice that you produce increases.
I will see training as the variable cost, the cost that is not static, that's the cost that changes. Which means that there's no particular amount at the beginning of the month that you say, I'm keeping this specific amount for. So it can change at any point in time. You can decide to take a training which costs 100,000 francs. The next one you decide to take a training which costs 40,000. So the cost is variable. It's not remove training completely.
So it means that now I'm going into the type of cost. Now, if we are going to the category, the category of cost, we have two. And now, if we are going to the type of cost, you have the cost, the production cost, you have the non-production cost, and you have the overhead cost. Trainings goes into the overhead cost. You can cut the training without affecting the production of your production. So some may be tricky. So now what we have here and what you can consider as fixed cost would be those that you call regulatory trainings. So when you go to trainings, regulatory trainings are fixed cost, meaning that even if there's production or not, that one is from the law. The regulation says that your personnel should be trained on safety. Okay, cool. Now, what about electricity, water, telephone, internet? Variable cost. How? It depends on the type of business you're doing. It depends on the type of business. If you are on services only, if you are on services, if you are manufacturing something that needs that pool energy and pool water consumption, water and electricity will go into your variable cost. Transport or transportation. Variable cost is fixed cost. It depends on, of course. Okay. It depends on, as we are all saying, it depends on the type of activity as well.
So you say fixed, like you say, it depends on what you're doing.
I understand exactly what you mean.
Yes.
But at the same time, in your business plan, how will you categorize it? Because in your business plan, before doing your business plan, you should be able to study and make sure that you know the environment, and knowing that from January, for example, to March, I can't get the raw material in Douala. I can get it only in Edea or somewhere else. You see what I mean? Therefore, your cost forecast is more accurate, and it becomes a fixed cost for transportation.
How about natural costs and then make you not be able to go somewhere? Like natural costs. Okay, for example, maybe COVID time.
Yes, sure. That's unforeseen circumstances. That's unforeseen. It falls into hazardous, cost.
I think if your business is a product-based business, then your transportation cost is a fixed cost. If it's a service-based business, then transportation cost can be a variable.
A variable cost as well, yeah. Like for example, somebody who distributes meals. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, look, I think, what about promotions? All those are a fixed cost. Fixed cost. Okay, raw materials, variable, all right? Equipment, fixed. Okay. Rent, fixed cost. Okay. Taxes. Because at the beginning of the year, you know more or less how much money you're going to get, and if it's from the bank, you can forecast and calculate what it will cost as interest for the lending of that money. Insurances, fixed cost, okay, and incentives, variable cost. Okay, great. Well, good job. Give a kudos. Give it a great. Thumb up. This is very practical, and what I just wanted to do now is to go into this cost still and ask ourselves, which one are production-based costs, which ones are non-production-based costs, and which one are overheaded costs. As you can see, you have, as I was saying, production-based and non-production-based. Into production-based costs, you have what? You have the labor and the material cost. And what do you put into the labor cost? Salaries, wages, incentives, and all the benefits, compensation, everything that has to do with comp and ben. And what do you put into the material cost?
Cost of
Equipment, raw materials. We will now summarize what we said. I think from the beginning we understood that what can be called cost in a running business is the money that I spend. Now, where do I spend the money to run my business? That's where it comes to. And we came out with a list of the different costs that we may have in a running business, from the wages to the equipment to the utilities and so on, just as you did. And after we understood that we had two categories of cost, which were what? What are the two categories of cost? Fixed and variable cost. Okay, now taking them down to a different type of cost, we have cost which are linked to the production, and costs which are non-productive costs. And into the production, you have two segments as well. One for the labor, and the second for material. Good. To summarize, I would like you remember the objectives of this section was to be able to identify the cost, what costs are in a running business. Good job. Thank you for the